Hi everyone, welcome. It's Lavender Sky Panther. It's Wednesday, May 31st, 2023, with another lightning round roadside reading today. This time, there's no selecting of a pile. It's just going to be reading everything that you're going to be seeing. It's going to go pretty quick, and it's also in the context. This one is for kind of dedicated to the healers out there, or if you don't consider yourself a healer, maybe somebody just finding yourself in the position of a caregiver for either a loved one, friends, a neighbor, someone in trouble or distress, and you just happen to be the kind of maybe the only one around, or you willfully voluntarily wanted that role. Either way, this might be a message for someone out there in that position, okay? Because it does similarly apply to me that way. That's how I know there's got to be at least one person out there where this applies to as well. It's a very specific message today, but let's get into it. So on the left we have let your past go, and okay, there we go, some focus. The burden of carting your past around has made you weary, dear one. It's time to set this burden down. Keep only the lessons and the love, and leave everything else behind. You don't want it or need it, and it's now gone. Now, the thing about drawing this card was it fell down between the seats of my car, and as I was looking, I had lent a family member the car, and they had stayed in a hotel, and I had no idea, but I let them use the car for a while, and this was under the seat. And I happened to find it at the same time as drawing this card. So it's time to let me go. It's a really strong message, especially if you are caring for someone and you are walking them home, so to speak, and they may, exit the planet real soon. It's just a reminder that, sometimes we're going to have to let it go. And that's a hard lesson. But it's all about the time, the time that we come, the time to go. And I might have mentioned it on another show, but something that helps me deal with this, because I've already had to deal with a loved one passing last year, is the notion, I heard it somewhere, I can't even remember where, but somebody mentioned that, we kind of have it backwards in our cultures, or at least some of the cultures, some already are onto it. But when you are born, it's kind of like the entrapment of your unlimited soul is now being kind of confined and restricted in a 3D body. And so that's kind of like could be the real moment of mourning, lamenting, like, oh, you came in, to this 3D and now you're restricted. Whereas the death is the liberation, of that soul and the expansiveness again, and a time to celebrate. So really, we should be celebrating everything, the birth and the passing on and the transitioning. Because if we would remember, where we're transitioning to, I mean, that's like the most incredible place you could possibly be, or wherever you choose to go. It's limitless. So anyway, I just thought I should bring that up because it was an undeniable message when I got let your past go, and then right on the back side of it, I'm like, what's this card under my seat? And it's time to let me go. Okay. All right. Now we have the second card is Blessing in Disguise. Let me see if I can get this to focus. What appears to be a problem is actually part of your answered prayer. You'll understand the reasons behind your present situation as everything resolves. Trust in heaven's protection and infinite wisdom to answer your prayer in the best way. And again, so true. We don't always see the full picture. We're not meant to see it all. And so all we can do is do the best we can with what we have to work with, as they say. And, just put our love into everything, wrap everything in love the best we can. There are going to be days when we blow our fuse, especially if you're caregiving. And that's okay. We're human beings. But we learn from that and grow through that and move through that. And, learn so much about ourselves and others in the process. All right, time to go. There's this one. The sun sets and rises each day, and it's the same with the avenues in your life. See the beauty within each sunset in your life, and know that the sun will also rise again tomorrow. Endings are merely the start of new beginnings, and we are with you through each phase and cycle. And I know that's cliche, but it's true. There are endings and there are beginnings. And when you look at it in maybe the Native American and other cultures' perspective, at looking at time as not linear, but as a circle or a sphere, or just something in the 3 dimensions and on, you just see that you can jump in on any point of that ring or circle, and you can't tell if that's the beginning or the end. You're just coming in at a certain point. All right, let's continue. Okay, now we're going to go to 3 other cards. We have King of Winter. Give me a moment to set it up. We have Five of Autumn again. We had that recently. And we have Three of Summer. And that's the order that they came in, which is another reminder of time and seasons for everything, right? The right season for everything. King of Winter, so we got winter, autumn, and summer, symbolizing that we might go through a dark period or an ending. But then if we like reverse back in quote unquote time, not looking at it linear, there's going to be an autumn, and then there's also a summer. So there are different phases of the year and how that affects nature, for a reason. And beyond that, with the King of Winter, we have, did I get down to the bottom? Nope, I didn't read them. Knowledgeable, experienced, fair-minded, unemotional. And then we have get advice from someone professional and objective. Public speaking, unemotional relationships. The next one, we have Five of Autumn, is reach out to others for assistance, poor timing for a career change, and feeling challenged by, let's see what this says, money issues. And then the Three of Summer says, news worth celebrating, announcements such as weddings, graduations, or births, friends you cherish. So again, this kind of cycles through with the caregiving perspective, or helping people or walking them home. We're going to have a time where it's winter and it seems tough and arduous, maybe. There's also beauty in that winter, however. What caused my attention here is the unemotional part. At some point, it's not that you don't care or aren't loving, but in certain times, you may have to be a little more detached and unemotional and look at everything as it is, or it is as it will be, and not get too invested emotionally so that you can save your energy to continue doing the caregiving. Then we have, with this one again, which was recently in one of the readings, we have, reaching out for assistance, not only monetarily, it talks about the finances, but also just a friend. And if some of you, out there don't find that you don't have a circle of friends, especially given the last 3 years, and divergent kind of points of view and sentiments and ways of seeing the world are naturally pulling us apart from family and friends these days, just then mentally intend it, in a little prayer, an internal meditation, just say, kindly show me the person that I can talk to. And you might find a neighbor pops up, or a friend from the past suddenly comes back around. Ask for it. Ask for it in your own mind. It's within your own power to bring that into your world, because you will need some support if you don't have it to move through some challenges, especially if you're caregiving or dealing with somebody who even lost, if you already walked them home, so to speak. Okay, and then we have the time for celebration. So there's time to go through what we must here in the 3D, but always time to celebrate the big things, the little things. It doesn't have to be necessarily a birth or a graduation. It can just be celebrating life, the fact that there's water, trees, air, and yes, we know there are toxins and things are getting contaminated, but maybe spend time meditating. It's just an idea, to envision the world completely clean in your mind's eye. Send out light from the heart space that just like blast it out in your mind's eye, spreading the whole world with love and sparkles and hearts, whatever you want to do. And even imagine maybe the shape of your country, your state, or your city surrounds, and just imagine that as if you're zoomed out on a map looking down, and just imagine lifting in the entire country or world up, right, in love and beautiful loving light. Okay, now we have 2 extra cards I drew at the end and put them side by side. We have Wizard of the Woods, Focus, and that's number 50. And then I also got, only 2 wanted to jump out of this pile, out of this card deck, and we got Wise Women of the Grove, Grace, number 49, or 13, or 4. What's interesting is both of these figures, obviously we have a woman, elderly woman, and elder man. And on the right-hand side, I don't know, you see the title, Wise Woman of the Grove with Grace. You think that's a nice, happy scene. I'm not getting such a rosy vibe. I'm sorry. Not sorry, but I mean, looking at her expression, I don't know, I'm feeling a bit of a trickster vibe. Maybe it's just me. And when you look at that like red, gem down there, to me, or it's like red background, I guess there's a white sparkle on it, or ring or something. To me, that just signals, it's a trap. I mean, like you go put your hand to go get that thing and the box is going to like suck you in. That's how I'm feeling on that for whatever reason today. Not always, just today. So that to me is almost like really kind of watch things. Don't get sucked into deep, dark emotions, or very negative, toxic energy, maybe from family and friends as you're going through what you're going through. And, keep your eye up here, on the light, the white light behind her, but not this darkness. Don't be fooled by anything that's masquerading as, true white light. That's kind of feeling very artificial, okay? Then when we look at the focus, same thing. We can like look into the wizard's eyes, or we can look at what he's presenting over here, and not to get like lost in, too much into a direct situation with a person. Kind of go beyond that and look at the magic beyond in the situation, or calling upon healing powers from a higher realm, to help a person. It's just kind of what I'm getting off of that card. So before I close, let's like kind of switch gears. And I was talking about healing and walking people home and kind of tougher subjects. Let's just switch gears and just see what we might have in a bonus card. And I'm just going to ask Great Spirit, God Spirit, bring through what people need, whatever somebody might need out there just to hear right now. Let it come out, let it come through. And actually, I just threw some cards down here, and I'll pull this one up. And we get King of Air. And air can be, associated with communication. The blue color here is like the throat chakra for communication. And this king is wearing a mask. Obviously, it's related to the bird and flight. He's even got like mountains over his eyes, profile of mountains, everything lofty. And speaking of air and higher things, I think and even the decoration on his robe almost looks like he's holding like a sword upright, kind of standing up for truth in his communication. And I would just say that related to our overall topic at hand, I did ask for something to be completely unrelated to the healing and the health, but yet I'm finding it's kind of taking us back there. When you know something in your spirit and in your heart that should be spoken amidst the caregiving, no matter what anyone is saying around you, and you're tapped into your divine wisdom within, speak your truth. And you don't have to hide yourself. Speak your highest truth, Take that mask off and speak your truth. And don't worry about anything. Okay, that's all I get for now. I know it's a funky little reading today, but I hope something in there helps somebody, or at least just is inspirational, or otherwise just bring something good to your day. In the meantime, I wish you all tremendous peace and love. Lavender Sky Panther. Bye.